Hey everybody, this is Clifford Stummy, the Pop Song Professor, and welcome to the best English class you are ever going to attend. And it's largely because today we are talking about Before You Start Your Day by 21 Pilots. This song is important to know about because it comes off of 21 Pilots' first album, self-titled. And so if you're new to the Skeleton Click or you're just new to 21 Pilots in general, this gives a really solid picture of where the band comes from, who they are, and why they care about their fans so much. It's also important to listen to the song because it's got a great positive message for anybody, and because the Awkward channel, Becca Hearts You, and over 241 people requested it. And speaking of which, guys, don't forget to comment your favorite 21 Pilot song down below and to upvote other songs that you would like to hear me explain on a future 21 Pilots Tuesday. Today's 21 Pilots Tuesday is brought to you by the Pop Song Professor podcast, where we have, and you won't want to miss this, a song explanation of every single TOP song from Vessel. That's right, you heard me folks, it's all there, check it out. But let's go ahead and start talking about this song. And my first question for you guys, as it often is going to be, is what does this song mean? This is a conversation, this isn't just me preaching, what do you guys think about it? My analysis has led me to focus on three parts of the song in particular. First comes from the first verse, open the slits in your face, the eyes, and start your day. You don't have much time to make your slits look just right. I'm in your mind, I'm singing, I'm in your mind. And so it's like Tyler Joseph is telling his fans, it sounds like he's particularly talking to a female fan, but I think it applies to all of them. And he's saying, I understand who you are and the way you think because I'm like you. And as you start your day, you're in a rush, but you need to start it right. And that's kind of where he's starting the song itself. He uses hyperbole here. Here's your English lit term of the day. Hyperbole is when you say something, but you exaggerate it so much to make a point. So he's not actually in their mind, but he understands how they think and who they are well enough that he might as well be. But then he moves into the chorus. Look in the mirror and ask your soul if you're all right. Put on the glitter that your soul hides behind it. So we were making our slits look just right, and now they're putting on their glitter makeup. But he's saying, look in the mirror and ask your soul if you're all right. And so he's saying, talk to the deep part of yourself. Acknowledge the truth of who you are inside and ask if you're okay. If you're not, you need to do something about it. If you are, which nobody really is, right? Then you probably need to ask again. He says, put on the glitter that your soul hides behind. So he understands that people put on a facade, something on the outside, so that people don't know what's going on inside of their hearts. And that takes us into verse 2 where he says, know you were made holy. Open up your eyes and see, the clouds above will hold you. Now, I think when he says that, he's saying to people, and he's saying, you know, remember that you were made by God. This God who believes in righteous things and who is completely righteous, he made you for a purpose. And so it's an overtly Christian message there. He says, open up your eyes and see. So acknowledge the truth. It's there. It's just if you are disagreeing, like your eyes are closed. And he's not saying if you're disagreeing that like God's real or like let's evangelize people. He's saying if you don't believe you were made by somebody holy, if you don't believe that you have this higher purpose, open your eyes up and see the truth, which I think is much more comforting than, I bet you better repent of your sins before you go to hell. But he continues, the clouds above will hold you, which is a reference to heaven or to the power of God, which often is symbolized as coming from above, even though, you know, proper theology would suggest that God is everywhere at all times. So the question I have for you guys, that line, know you were made holy, what do you think about that? What does he mean by that? Am I wrong? Am I right? I have a question coming at the end of this podcast. I want to try to highlight like a fan comment from you guys that talks about this exact same topic, so stick around for that. I think you're going to find that conversation interesting, and if you do, you're the kind of person I want commenting on it to tell me what you think about it. So the overall idea of the song is that when you wake up, you might try to fake it, but even if you're faking it to people outside, you need to be honest with yourself. The other idea of the song, the other huge theme is that Tyler's saying is that he understands you and that you can come to him for this empathy and for this understanding because he knows how your mind thinks, because he's been there and he's been through these same struggles. I don't think that everybody could hear the song and, you know, for it to apply to them, but the people who know that it applies to them, they know that it applies to them. If you listen to other 21 Pilot song, you'll understand who he's singing to. If you watch other of my videos, you'll understand who he's singing to. So really cool message there. He could be talking to a friend or a family member rather than the Skeleton Click, but I would say that there's nothing here explicitly about a family member, and I don't think he's talking to himself because he's in the mind, which, I mean, it would be like, obviously, you're in your own mind, but he's in somebody else's mind, and I think that in this respect, he thinks of the Click as his friends, and so in a way, he is in the mind of a friend and of a member of the Click. So I think it's really interesting, really encouraging, but it comes up with a deeper question, guys. When you wake up in the morning, feeling like P. Diddy. The Katy Perry Kesha song comes to mind. But when you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling like P. Diddy and you feel like things aren't going to go so well that day, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that frustration? Do you listen to, before you start your day? I used to feel like this weird sense of guilt, like every morning when I wake up, or maybe like 1 out of every 2 mornings. It was just like this deep pit of guilt, and I wasn't sure where it come from or why. I hadn't even like done anything wrong. Like I could imagine something I had done wrong, and I could take something that I had done wrong that was very small and say like, I guess that's why I feel so bad. I guess I better do a better job. But it didn't make sense. Like, why would you feel that guilty for something that was so small and you'd already asked forgiveness for and tried to move on past? And I never really figured it out. But I did find that a way to help was to get started moving on things that were real. If this guilt was fake, I needed something real, so I took a real shower. I made real progress on my tasks for that day. I read my Bible, something like that. I prayed. And so it was a really good way to kind of fight that feeling. And so I would say, like, my soul is obviously not all right, so I'm going to fight this fake not all rightness with something real. So that's how I fought it, guys. I'd love to hear what you think about this and hear your personal experiences. Go read the comments. There's a lot of encouraging, really cool people down there. And now for the playlist of the day, we've got 3 very cool songs to tell you guys about. And this playlist of the day is brought to you by the Pop Song Professor podcast, where, like I said, you've got all of those Vessel song explanations just waiting for you guys to listen to them. You can find them on iTunes, and you can find that link down in the description. You can also get them on Google Play and on my website. So be sure to check that out, guys. But today's 3 songs are going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, you're going to listen to before you start your day. But you should also check out Oh Misbeliever. It's another 21 Pilots song where Tyler sings to a female friend or fan who he wants to help feel better and to work past depression. And then the other 2 are kind of opposites. It's Neon Cathedral by Macklemore. It's an explicit song about his struggle with alcoholism. And then the 3rd song is Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time by Panic at the Disco, and it's more about an embrace of alcohol. And so there's 2 warring ideas or ways of thinking about it there, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about like that internal struggle there. And finally, the comment of the day comes from WDBWOTV Christmas. He says, even though he said it was about the Skeleton Click, he's talking about Tyler Joseph and the Heathen song, I believe it's also about his faith, but not everyone can see it. He likes overanalyzing everything and using metaphors. If we look closely, we will see that almost every song is somehow connected with his Christian faith. Yeah, and I think that every song is impacted by his Christian faith. I wouldn't say that every single one is about his Christian faith, but I know exactly what you're saying, where you're coming from, but he doesn't make it explicitly clear. He shrouds it in metaphors that we have to work through and figure out, and that's why not a lot of people will agree with us. But those of you who are watching, I'd love to hear what you think. Do you agree with me and this long-named person Christmas? And yeah, what do you think, or why do you disagree? We especially need people who disagree, because that keeps everybody grounded. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Don't forget to come back tomorrow. Hopeless Opus by Imagine Dragons is the video that I'm currently planning to put out, and it's going to be fantastic. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Talk to you later. I also have a quick confession. Last night I may or may not have dreamed about 21 Pilots. You can call me obsessed. They were given like this special concert for like only 50 people, and I like snuck in. We all got to like talk to Tyler Joseph, and he misquoted trees, and so did I, and it was just pretty awesome. And then April woke me up right before I could ask him what he thought about my song explanations.